Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another 830 RPG video. Today, we'll be taking a look at my recent updates and changes to my own engine called 830 RPG. Now, for anyone who's not familiar with this, I'm creating my own game type, my own RPG system for my videos exclusively. Because as much as I love using Karen and a few other ones I've used, D&D obviously, and a few I wanted to try other one-page RPGs. I wanted to basically make my own that I'm more comfortable with. And this is a one-page RPG. Now, my next goal is to have a bunch of oracles back here on the second on the rear side, so that it's essentially is a one-page RPG. Now, the biggest update with the system has been the character sheet at the very bottom. Minimalistic, small enough to list your inventory and a few of your stats and your origin story. A new thing I got added called energy, and then a battle die chosen with name and then HP. Also, first let's look at the top and see what I've done differently. Now, you still have your name, origin story, the three boosters. I believe I've changed it back to one, or I changed to 1d4. Expert mode, you just choose one booster. The health is now 46 and you drop the lowest roll. So, for example, we get, let's see, 2, 4, 3, 3. Take away the 2. And now our health is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that would be the starting health. This game is mostly a 2d6 system. The health, and then there's the battle die, which is now combined weapon and armor. So I got rid of attack die and uh, armor die, defense die. It is now combined into one to streamline combat. And essentially, the die you have based on your weapon, narratively, is going to be both the weapon and armor. So when you roll it against an opponent who possibly is stronger, let's continue the theme of blue as the character and the red as, let's just do this, 2d6s. So enemy is 4 damage done to me, and I am doing 4 damage to the enemy. The enemy has a max health of 4, so thus we defeat the enemy. We lose 4 health in that round, but killing the enemy. So essentially our armor is the space between the roll and the max. So 1 would be the armor equipped. That is basically how I combined it. It does make the game more challenging and probably more suitable for one shots, but that's the goal. I want to make it more challenging. And we'll get to combat here in a second. You probably already look at it. It's definitely gotten smaller. Um, Inventory still 10 items, 4 useful items. I kind of rearranged the text. I did change the font on this to make it smaller to condense more room for the character sheet. Currency still 3d6. I changed it now to booster checks. So performing risky action, choose a booster related to the action. And I forgot to mention, I changed traits to boosters. You still have 3 boosters: power, speed, and mind, based on the task at hand. So the action, actually, not task. Very hard is 2, easy, casual, hard, very hard, and impossible. So still the same from before. Roll a 2d6 booster. If expert, plus 1d4 to the sum. So whatever you get here, plus that. Now, I was contemplating this for a bit in the last video, and because I was trying to figure out if I should just do this would be the expert booster. So let's say 6, we have a roll of 7 plus a 3, so that's 10 plus our booster. Let's say, for example, 2. I have a 12 to 12. I was thinking originally it was just 3d6. You get a third assist in there because the difficulty, for example, is, let's say, 12. The chance of hitting that is much greater, but you are an expert. So again, I'm still debating that, and I think for now I might change this to after recording. I'm going to put a little star here. I might change that to an extra d6. So you essentially have 3d6 against the 12 difficulty, which if that's what you're trying to go for an expert. Otherwise, if you're an expert and it's a casual, you are easy win. But remember, 3d6, you can still roll 3 ones, so not always a cakewalk. But that's the current conundrum I'm dealing with my rules. But again, this is always ongoing, not perfect, and it's a work in progress, alpha, beta, whatever you want to call it. So you roll 2d6 plus booster, expert, like I said, either d4 d6. Greater than is a success. I changed this. Equal to is success, but questionable. So remember, this is kind of tailored for solo play for myself. Rolling under is a fail. Rolling 12 or higher is a critical success with some benefit. And rolling 1 is a critical failure with a complication. Then we have the, if you guys can see it. Okay. Combat is based on diverse die. Roll your battle die, roll the counter die, which is the enemy. The higher roller lands a hit. The difference is the amount. Equal rolls cancel out as a clash. Now remember, when it comes to range weapons and distance and all that stuff considered, it's entirely narrative based. It's entirely will be up to me, per the moment, spur of the moment, advantage, who goes first, etc. Again, these rules are very flexible, and I try to simplify it for myself. And combat is always going to be the most difficult thing to perform, in my opinion. Next is healing. So I've added a healing concept, or at least I generalized it and gave its own little section here. Because this game is going to be probably harder to perform to play, I did put a handicap. So after combat, if survived, hint hint, you may heal 1d4. Taking a short rest heals 1d6, but increases the chance of encounter. A long rest heals completely. Then we have the enemies. I think the enemies are, yep, it changed. Enemies are based on a counter die. So now I call it a counter die, and it's easy, casual, hard, nightmare. So still the same ranks. The die is the amount of damage they cause. The max roll of the die is their health. So that's the new updated version of that. Evolution also changed a bit. It's based on the success of a monumental action. The GM decides when essentially. For each evolution, improve on the following: 1d4 to one trait only, max is 10 per trait. 1d4, let's see. 10 is actually very, very generous. So further down, if your character is just completely a boss when it comes to strength checks, and you have a booster of 10, you might as well stop playing at that point. So if you rolled these two here and the difficulty is 12, that's going to be 14. I'm sorry. Yeah, 14. So again, evolution's questionable, but I'll keep it on the sheet for now. I could say max is probably 5, maybe, perhaps. So let's see. Maybe, you know what? 6, actually. Let's change this to 6. Max is 6 because it's a d6 when you roll, and I think that just makes it consistent. But again, this will be more for, uh, but you don't always evolve after every single action. That's why I put monumental action. A quest, completing a very epic quest, defeating a large boss, stuff like that. So I think six is fair, and I'm also going to change this to 1d6 for the uh, for the booster, the expert booster die. Okay, next, I added a whole new section to encompass magic. A friend of mine looked at my sheet and my rules, and he gave me some pointers. And this was actually the biggest part because my goal is to have the sheet be universal for any source material, past, present, future. So I added what's called energy. Energy is required for special actions like magic, cosmic, or chi. Performing these actions consume -1 energy from the energy bank. 3 uses allowed per day, recharge after a long rest. And then there's my credit there. Here is the character sheet. So pretty simple. I just used this is all in Google Docs, so just the table. Added some symbols. So name is Todd will be my character name, and then it's a George Carlin joke, FYI. If I can even write, I just don't want to bump the camera. Let's say power. I'll tell you what, let's just make a character right now, just for fun. Let's see. Origin story is Todd is a stand-up comedian. Okay, that's it. He's a stand-up comedian. Power is going to be. Let's see. How do we do this again? Oh yeah, that's right. 1d4. So we roll 1d4. Power's 3. Roll for speed. 3 again. Roll for speed, or roll for mind. And I'm going to say, yeah, 3 again. All right, so 3, 3, 3. And then because he's a stand-up comedian, I'd say that's more charisma than anything. So that's gonna be mine. So that's our skill right there. I put that box there for whichever one you're skilled in, you're an expert in, I should say. Health is going to be 46. Drop the lowest roll. So let's grab three d4s. Let me back up the camera a bit for the rolls. There we go. 3 to 6. And I do need to get a new tray because I'm running out of space. All right. We have not too impressive. So we have basic. Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to do 4, drop the lowest roll. There we go. Drop the lowest roll. Okay, so 2 is out. So that's even better. You want the most health possible, which we're close. So 6, 10, 14. So 14 out of, well, dot here, 14. And then inventory. Let's see, the battle die will be based on what we have. So narratively, we just make up inventory. If I do include in my oracles, I might do that on the backside. The battle die, let's just say we have a starting D4. So that's what these are right down here for. So there's D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, D20. I don't think I missed anything. D4, 6, 2. Yep, there's another pinball die. So inventory, we have, let's see, we have a 4 useful items. So 3 days of rations, which is straight from the Inspiration of Karen rule set. 3 days of rations. Rations. Food, pills, if it's the future, cybernetic shoe, I don't, who knows. Um, Light source, let's say a torch for stand-up comedian. Weapon, a microphone. He whips around. It's on a cable, spins around. That's a D4, so we'll put D4. Armor, let's see, his uh, blue jeans. That's a D. Let's say that's a D4. Okay, so we have that. And then energy, let's say it's just 4 useful items, but let's say he knows magic. Let's say punchline is magic. Punchline, and then that magic will be, we'll put M for magic, D4. So if we use a punchline during a stand-up routine, we would fill in that symbol right here. And once you max out the 3, you are spent. You have to rest and then simply just erase, and you're good to go for the next day for your stand-up career. So that is it. That's how you create a character in my game. It's incredibly simple. And again, I play with a lot of rolling, a lot of oracles, and narrative speaking in regards to combat. What I'm going to do, possibly, I don't want to promise anything. I have a tendency to, back up on things, but um, what I'm going to try for my next episode of Misfortune is drop the Karen rule set and adapt this one moving forward. That's my goal. I'm going to beta test this in Misfortune episode, which obviously will be 11 coming up here either tomorrow or next few days. So that's really it. I hope you like this. My goal is not to. This is not for like mass production. This is strictly for myself. I don't really plan on releasing it to itch or something. However, I'm always welcome to feedback if you guys feel like there should be more options for magic or a leveling system or an evolution. Uh, Combat should have defense, turn-based, etc. But again, this is all the room I'm giving myself. I don't want to. My goal is not to flip the page to look for more rules. This is going to be for tables if I need them. So that's it for this episode of the workshop. I will see you guys next time on 830 RPG. Thanks for watching.